morning. Welcome back to Astrology from a Libra's perspective. Today is Thursday, May 14th, 2020, and this is a daily horoscope reading for all my Virgos out there for today. You may feel hemmed in by the role models that society currently offers. As you struggle to find your own definition of the truly modern human being, the people in your life sometimes criticize your liberated attitude. Just because their ideas aren't in sync with yours doesn't make yours any less valid. Maybe your ideas aren't too radical. Maybe theirs are too conventional. There's room for both points of view. Yeah, this is 100% true. I agree with it 100%. So what I would say, there's really, when you really come down to it, there are way more things in life that there are no right or wrong answers for than there are things in life that there are right or wrong answers for. And then even in those situations where there are right or wrong answers, depending on the time period that we live in, depending on, who it is that's doing the research on that thing or speaking on that thing, even those right or wrong answers can change. For example, you go back far enough in history and it was widely accepted and scientifically credited that the earth was flat. You go far enough back and it was widely accepted and scientifically credited that the earth was the center of the universe. You go far enough back and it was widely accepted and scientifically accredited that black people have smaller brains than everyone else. There's always going to be opinions in life, there's always going to be viewpoints, and there's always going to be a vast difference between what is an opinion or a viewpoint versus what is fact. And even in fact, there's still going to be differences. There's still going to be variations of fact. There's still going to be different things that can dispute those facts. What I come across a lot is people who think that because an idea on one side is valid, that it makes an idea on the other side not valid. And it doesn't mean one way or the other that one person's idea whose is valid versus another person's idea who might not be as valid or might be more valid depending on the viewpoint or what it is you're trying to get across in that exchange. It doesn't take away from the other person's. I think when people get into debates and they get into arguments about different things, people are so busy trying to prove their point that they don't take enough time to understand the point of the other person and where they're coming from. So I would say, for those people who criticize, especially if you're a free thinker, where it says liberated attitude, if you're a free thinker or you think outside the box or you choose not to subscribe to the social constructs and the norms of this so-called civilized society that we are currently living in today, when you're outside of those parameters, people look at you a certain way and they disagree with it. But it doesn't mean that it's wrong. You could be ahead of your time. You could be totally outside of the time, altogether. But if you're okay with your viewpoint and how you see things, and if you validate yourself in the things that you agree with, disagree with, the way that you think, the beliefs or viewpoints that you have on certain things, and if you have things that to you justify those things, then really nobody should be able to make you feel any differently about it. I would say that if criticism does bother you from people where it shouldn't or where it wouldn't bother most people, I would probably suggest that you get more grounded in who you are and why you believe certain things. Because for a person like me, it's fun to argue my point because I know that the premise I stand on, whatever that premise is, comes from a solid place. So whether somebody feels like I'm wrong because of my viewpoint, or somebody feels like my thinking is just so radical or so outside the norm or so far to the left, I take joy in arguing those points down because I'm 100% grounded in all of my beliefs, my viewpoints. And when you really believe in what it is you think and what it is you say you think, then you really don't have an issue with people who disagree with it because you know who you are and that's who you are. People who get overly defensive and want to argue their points or feel like their feelings are hurt because people argue against it or criticize their points. I think those are people who are not too well grounded in who and what they really are and what and who they really believe in. So I would say, if that is you, work on that for you for today, and every day try to figure out a little bit more about yourself and what you're really into. And you don't necessarily have to avoid people who criticize or who don't see your viewpoints in favor in a favorable way, but I would say it's okay to brush off those criticisms. Again, as long as you know that you're grounded in something that people can't really argue, because there really is room for more than one viewpoint. There's room for everybody to have their own opinion about anything they choose to have their opinion about. Nobody's right or wrong. So having said that, I wish you all luck. I wish you all love, peace, wealth, and overall health. This is Astrology from a Libra's perspective, and I will see all my Virgos back here tomorrow with another daily horoscope reading. Peace and love.